Hello everyone, my name's Luke Dalton and I'm a member of the Portishead Chamber of Commerce. We are a locally run and voluntary networking group. So the aim is really to sort of encourage members to get to know other businesses in the local community and to promote growth in our local economy really. So I've got Greg from Astron Fire and Security here today to find out more about them and what his company does. So I guess the first thing I want to know, Greg, is how would you summarize what your business does to the people that don't know what you do?
Luke, what Astron does is we're a fire and security installer, which what it says on the tin. So we install and maintain and monitor fire and security systems. But we also do some high-end CCTV integration and integration of access control systems, where basically you can bring everything onto a single platform, which in addition to protecting a client's premises, can actually provide useful operational benefits, which obviously saves them money and protects them at the same time.
Oh, right. So basically you've got like a combination of different security products that you've managed to consolidate into a system for the convenience of the customer sort of thing. Is that?
Yeah,
that fair enough.
For example, we do a CCTV system in a factory making signs.
Yeah.
And right down the bottom end of the factory, the managing director one day dialed in and he was having a look at the site because he's working remotely during the current restrictions.
Yeah.
Noticed the guys were using a huge floor to ceiling cutter, without having the proper hand guards and without having the actual guards to stop them hurting themselves. So he got a health and safety benefit out of that he never thought about when he put in the CCTV system to protect his goods from criminals.
Yeah. That's pretty. I mean, I'd imagine with the pandemic and everything that's going on, you might have been dealing with things like the facial recognition, temperature sensors, and stuff like that. Have you got involved with any of that?
Yeah, we were really lucky. Just before the lockdown, we demonstrated an IP CCTV system that had thermal capability at a show in Exeter, and we had people on the stage from EDF Energy, and we were lucky enough to land a countrywide contract at 30 power stations during the lockdown, where they're using the thermal properties of the CCTV camera to determine if people have got a fever or not. And obviously they send them home if they're over temperature. But what it's enabled them to do is they've found a way to keep all the 30 power stations that are generating power going during the lockdown. So the energy supply has been uninterrupted.
Wow, that's amazing. So I guess in a horrible way, it's probably made you a bit more busy with all this, additional security requirements for the big corporations and things like that.
Yeah, we were really lucky. I mean, my engineers did 16,000 odd miles countrywide.
Wow.
But, they secured EDF Energy and helped make sure that Astron are really busy during the lockdown. And we count our blessings every day because we stayed busy and we put all the necessary precautions in place, both at the power stations and in the hotels where the guys stayed. And touch wood, to date, we've had nobody ill. And we've been able to operate throughout the lockdown because we're an essential service.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It sounds like you've reacted well to everything that's going on, to be fair, and taken advantage of that in the right way, to be fair. So how long has the business been operating for then?
Astron's been going since December 2010.
Right.
I arrived from South Africa. This is my 34th year in this game. And I arrived, I sold my South African business and arrived in the UK in 1998.
Yeah.
And I dabbled doing alarms for people that I knew and friends and that sort of thing, while I learned a bit about the market. And then from December 2010, we went into it full time.
Right. So how did you get into fire and security then? What was your, I guess, the sort of career background?
I'm a telecom engineer by trade.
Right.
And I was working in railway engineering in South Africa. And I was approached by somebody who was a supplier of ours, but also supplied the fire and security industry. And I went and I became the regional manager in Durban, which is right on the coast. And what happened is you meet people on a national basis when you're part of this big organization. And I noticed a gap in the market for fire and security systems with the monitoring bureau and that sort of thing in Pretoria. So I moved my young family lock, stock and barrel. And when we sold ADT, we had 3,500 clients and 60 staff.
Right.
We've just tried. I mean, that's one of Astron's success here in the UK.
Yeah.
We're a small to medium company, but we try and put all the measures in place to act like a big company. And I think that is a key to our success, because we know we've done it before.
Yeah.
We know what the customers are looking for.
Yeah.
So it's quite easy for us to put the building blocks in place, and then obviously that helps you grow faster.
Yeah, well, you talk about energy being a main client. I don't think there's any small energy company. So there's a sort of psychology in business where you need to look a similar size to the client that you're working with sometimes, and it makes sense if you put all the procedures in place. I think the big difference between a small company and a large company is generally just consistency and looking at processes. And it sounds like that was a focus for you, because I know we were talking earlier, but you were talking about what it is that has been the key to Astron's success, and it sounds like we're kind of encroaching on that now with that sort of process analysis.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, our business is we run it quite simply, to be fair. Okay, we make sure we listen to what the client needs.
Yeah.
We then go and find a quality, innovative solution to help him with that. Okay, incorporating all the services he uses on site. So if we get called to quote on an access control system, we'll see how we can integrate that with the CCTV and intruder alarm and fire system. So he's got a single platform to work from.
Right.
And then most service industries, or most service companies, their biggest cost is the salaries. Okay. And then after that, the next biggest cost is vehicles. And then everything else is below that. 2018 and 19, our second biggest cost was staff training. Okay. And that's not held by, I do the sales. That's, Helen and Simon do that. And they make sure that they employ the right standard of engineer. Okay. And we then train them to be the best engineer that they can, which obviously means that, the clients really feel comfortable with the people that are actually working on this stuff.
Yeah.
Which means that I have an easier life and leaves me free, okay, to sell the next system.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like that, that cascades down through our business.
So it's basically quality control, isn't it? It's making sure that you're not just pumping out as much as possible. It's a consistently high quality with a recognized sort of schedule for your training, which is a byproduct of which is what will make the byproduct of consistency, as it were. So yeah.
I mean, the one thing that I think we're fairly unique, okay, is every single Astron client has my personal mobile.
Yeah.
Which never gets switched off. Okay, so I'm available 24/7. Use last festive season as an example. I did the standby from the 19th of December until the 4th of January. Okay.
Yeah.
And during that time, I had 2 calls, and that testifies as to the quality of the systems that we installed.
Yeah, yeah. You beat me to my next question, because I was going to say, how many sleepless nights do you have? I guess, but I guess that not too many then.
Yeah, less than in South Africa, because in South Africa you've got a natural phenomenon called lightning. Proper lightning, not what they had here last week. That was lightning, thunder and lightning, but it's not the same. Okay, and if there's a lightning storm at 3 a.m. in South Africa, I used to wake up and stay awake until it was over.
Yeah, I bet.
That's phenomenon. But to be fair, and there you do get a lot more call outs.
Yeah.
Like I say, we've got more experience now, so we actually know how to train engineers better, and that leads to a better job for the client and less calls for me, people like me and Simon and Helen to the 3 directors for us to deal with that.
Yeah, fair enough. So when you said you moved here in 1988, have you always been in Portishead, or?
Yeah, I came to Portishead because we're from Durban originally, and my wife's uncle had friends here in Portishead, and he said that around Bristol, Portishead will be the place that's most like Durban. And here we are, and in 10 days' time, I'll have lived in Portishead.
Wow.
On the nose.
Wow, that's a quick turnaround, to be fair. Yeah.
No, we didn't go look at anywhere else. We came here. The kids were small. We had a look at some of the local schools.
Yeah.
And bought a house in the first month.
Yeah.
And we've been here ever since. Yeah.
Well, amazing, amazing. Well, that's a good sign. Then you obviously like Portishead, which is good. Do you have many? Do you know many of the local businesses now? I'm assuming you probably got your foot through the door with a couple of businesses, but would you say that you're more a nationwide company, or is it more localized? Would you say?
No, we try not to go more. Well, our client, apart from the EDF sites, the majority of our clients are within 100 miles of Junction 19 of the M5.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Now we can control it that well because our engineers aren't spending hours and hours on the motorway. Okay, yeah. We basically are comfortable with anywhere that we can reach within 2 hours. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
But we do have the national capability. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that last bit.
What's your question? We do work for quite a lot of local businesses and homeowners and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, right. So you do domestic and commercial, and that's a good point then, really. So what sort of products are there? I know you were talking about obviously the more intense products, but for the everyday person, say a small company or someone like myself, if we were looking to sort of upgrade or look at our security, how would you go about that? What would be the first sort of step?
Well, we obviously come and we don't do any systems that we don't survey the premises first.
Right.
Yeah? And to be fair, on the burglar alarm side as well, we don't take on any systems where we don't monitor the system.
Yeah.
If we don't know what's happening with your system 24 hours.
Yeah.
And you're a domestic, you want to go on holiday, it's peace of mind that we're selling. So it's really important that if you're not at home or you're not at work, that we know what's going on at your premises.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Somebody tries to break in, or if you've gone away on holiday and your power trips out, we'll know about it within 30 minutes.
Mm.
If it hasn't reset within 4 hours, we go and turn the power back on, or we get your key holders to turn the power on.
Mm.
So you don't come back to a fridge and freezer where the food is all spoiled and you've got to throw it away and you've got an insurance claim.
Yeah.
So it's down to even small details like that.
Yeah.
But to answer your question on the commercial side, we come along, we assess the risk. And these days, if you wanted a burglar alarm system, chances are you're worried about your security. So a lot of these burglar alarm systems, you can attach an access control reader to it.
Mm-hmm.
Same fob that opens your door will turn off the burglar alarm.
Yes.
So that's two systems that are integrated, and we can bring the fire into that as well if on the same platform, and the CCTV we can have on the same platform. And then what you do is obviously you just use your mobile phone. And you're now in control of your business from your mobile phone.
Amazing. Right. So basically, whatever combination of security tools that I need for my business, you can consolidate it into an easy to manage platform, and you'll maintain it for me when I'm away, and you'll know everything that's going on. And it's that peace of mind for security, really. So
absolutely. And if you've got a problem, okay, you can get hold of us 24/7. So, if you've got a problem at 2:00 on Sunday morning, okay,
I can call you, Greg, can't I? I can call you directly.
I'm saying if you pick up the phone, it'll take me 20 seconds to wake up. But after that, I'll know how to help you. And the thing that's nice, the thing for me that's nice about looking after somebody at 2:00 in the morning is that it's going to be a big problem for them to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
But it's going to be much less of a problem than at 8:00 in the morning when it's gone on for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why we offer that service.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Well, it sounds like you're looking out for your customers anyway. So, well, Greg, look, it was great to meet you and find out a little bit more about your company and coming along today.
Can I just say one thing on behalf of all Portishead residents?
Yeah.
Okay, and that is that, I mean, obviously, I think everybody knows about the transport problems. Okay?
Yes, yeah.
If there's anybody from who's involved with the railway watching this interview, okay, we really need the railway link to continue to grow as a town, okay? And the other thing that because that'll attract more people to Portishead. That means that the schools will get better, okay? And Portishead will continue to be a great place to live and work in.
Yes,
okay?
yeah.
And that's what we need for the future going forward.
It would be good for everyone, wouldn't it? And I know that they've already ploughed some money into that to try and sort of clear the way to make a more concrete business plan for that development. And the Portishead Chamber has been involved in conversations with the council and things like that, keeping up to date. So if people want to know updates about that, as and when we get them, they will be released on the Chamber Facebook page and things like that, basically. But yeah, that's a long talking conversation. But there, particularly in the high street, you know, as Porter said, it's grown. The infrastructure hasn't grown with it, really. We've got an extra lane for Horbury Hundreds, and that's about it, really.
I'm surprised they didn't make that 2 lanes, to be fair.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, they've got loads of space either side, don't they? I don't know what services there are.
Yeah.
But to me, you know, it's got a lot better.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's part of a national plan. But so I you know, who am I to say? But I would have thought that 2 lanes would be better than 1. Although probably it would still get chock-a-block. But you know, the whole thing is I really think that if we make Portishead an attractive place to live and to work, okay, that'll have the effect of bringing up the standard of the high street.
Yes.
And it'll attract, you know, more local businesses. And with the greatest respect, while it's nice that some of the bigger chains are in town, okay, places like Portishead, it would be really good if we could support a whole lot of great local traders and help them to have a successful business and be part of Portishead for the future, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that brings to my sort of memory is the fact that there's potential for parking charges and things like that. And the reason is that there isn't enough parking in the high street, and obviously high street shops are going to be suffering because of that, because the footfall has gone down, and obviously, you know, other services have become available that potentially are more convenient than trying to find a space or having to pay to park and all the rest of it. That would ruin the local high street. So I think I speak for the Chamber when I say it. We don't really want to have to pay for it, but there is an issue with there being a lack of parking. So I know there are conversations about trying to make a more centralised car park and things like that, but these are really loose ideas at the moment. And actually, if we could drum up some noise on that problem as well, because they kind of correlate, because if we get more people coming to Portishead, this problem's only going to grow anyway. So they're a package deal in terms of the problem that we have as a community. So but yeah, it's worth making a note that anyone that wants to get involved with those kind of discussions about what's going on in Portishead, the Chamber of Commerce is in the centre of all of this, as well as councillors from Portishead Town Council, obviously, and things like that. So anyone who wants to find out more about that can. Anyone who wants any opinions on that or has an idea that we as a community could benefit from, then please voice it. So thank you, Greg, for pointing that out. And I guess, yeah, it was great to meet you, Greg. If anyone wants to find out any more details about Greg, I'm going to put the contact details for Greg on the post. So you can obviously ask any questions you want, and keep an eye out, because we're going to be aiming to do these every week with new or existing members to help reach out to everyone. So brilliant. Thank you, Greg.
Great. Luke, thanks so much for your time.
No problem. Have a good day.